Hey everyone, this is Retro Wizard Creations. I am Ryan, and today I am sculpting an old Nintendo classic, Super Bomberman. Anyone who played this game will remember the adrenaline-inducing action and the anxiety-fueled gameplay as you blast your way through the arenas, battling enemies, picking up goodies, and causing a rift with your buddies in the multiplayer action. Now this wouldn't be a legit channel if I didn't say, so without further ado, let's cue the intro and get crafting. So here I am pretending to draw an idea for a build like I wasn't filming myself, and all this just came to me in a big explosive art idea. Truth be told, I'm actually tracing this for video creating purposes to form the illusion that this is some spontaneous creative vision that I pulled out of my arse and made happen overnight. But as you'll see from this quick costume change, that even this drawing took me days. I drew the idea the day before at leisure and then decided I wanted to record the process, so that's why I'm tracing it now. But I'm not a complete fraud. I'm tracing my own original drawing, so don't try writing in to complain, alright? So let me just explain to you real quick the reasons behind this build and some of the inspiration behind it. You will see nostalgia is going to be a common theme in this channel, mainly from the 80s and 90s. And Bomberman is a memory that really stands out for me, for a couple of reasons. One, I loved the game. It was fast paced and the anxiety of being stuck between two bombs was insane. But the satisfaction of laying a chain of bombs that trapped your buddies, that was epic. But it wasn't just the game alone that I look back on fondly, it's what it created. It was another reason to get on your bike and go knock for your mates and see who can come out for a few hours. And once you get bored of riding around, you stop at whoever's house is the closest for a long skinny glass of really watered down orange squash and a spot on Nintendo if your mate's mum was okay with you leaving your bikes out in the front and coming in. And that's where this game comes in, because if you was at the house of the kid who had Super Bomberman and more importantly the multi-tap, and there was 3 or 4 of you, this shit was about to get real. It's just sad to look back at these times with a different perspective and realising that the last time you do these things, you never actually know it's the last time. And then you all go to different high schools and never see each other again.
Three, 2, 1.
Well, someone needs therapy. Right, so we are starting off with a bit of basswood that I cut into a cube shape for the head. The key design features of Bomberman are symmetry and smoothness, so I thought it would be best to use the basswood for the core rather than foil. It's more work, but the basswood carves and shapes real easy to get the perfect shape, and that'll make it a little easier to lay the clay down evenly and achieve the smoothness and symmetry I want further down the line. Now I've carved out the face so I can fill it with an even sheet of clay and bake it. That way I can give it a light sanding down once it's hardened and cooled to remove any imperfections with some fine grit paper to make it as smooth as possible. So now we're going to find out whether or not it was worth the extra effort of making the wooden core. I rolled out a sheet of clay at its thickest setting on the pastel roller and cut out a hole for his face. After slapping on way more bacon bond than I need to, I'm wrapping it around his head to form the helmet. So after a few snippety snips and some careful moulding to the core's shape, it worked out a treat. So going that extra mile at the start paid off, and now I can just cut out the final shape for his face and clean it up so it's ready to bake again, and give it another light sanding with some fine grit paper and water and get it real smooth, and draw on some eyes to get the positioning and the proportions right. So let's give this oversized head a body and some limbs. You can see it just starts off with a simple ball of clay that I taper off at one end by applying gentle pressure on the side and rolling on the mat. The hands start off as a ball too, and cut in half to make two smaller balls. And then the feet go the same way, but just get a bit of squishing and shaping to make them egg shaped. And with a ball sculpting tool, I'm putting in some indents for his legs to make it easier to drill some holes once they have been baked. And there you go. Now we almost have what we need to have this little feather flailing out of a bomb cloud. Right, now it's all baked, and I'm drilling a hole in the head and the body to insert a 1/8 rod to connect them together. He needs some arms and legs to go with those hands and feet, and I can't help but over-engineer everything. So, true to form, I'm making these out of 3/16 round metal rod. You really don't need to go this far if you're wanting to make something like this, but given my background as a blacksmith, I can't help but find a way to heat up some metal and manipulate it into the shape that I want. For me, this is actually easier and quicker than wrapping clay around armature wire, given the tools and the experience I have in metal. And the 3/16 size rod is the perfect size that I can shape into the pose that I want real quick and know it will hold without any issue. Now I'm marking out where I'm going to drill for his antenna. I'm using a 9-gauge armature wire so I can bend it into any position once it's in, and it just has a pre-baked and drilled ball of Sculpey that goes on top. Let's give him some eyeballs. Well, they ain't eyeballs, are they? Hot dogs? Wieners. There you go. Let's give him some eye wieners. I'll leave you with whatever image you may have. Let's not forget his belt. He needs to keep those pants up. We don't need to be seeing bomber ass flying through the air now, do we? So I'm just using Rust-Oleum Ultra Matte here. I'll go more in depth about that shortly, because now I've broken out the airbrush. I started off with a fleshy pink colour for the hands and the feet, but it wasn't pink enough. But it did form a good base layer for a pinker pink, which ended up looking much better. And here are some I prepared earlier. Do they still say that on TV? I don't know. But it's onto the body we go. And now I'm laying some light blue down, and this wasn't pink enough either. Good job too, because I want to throw some purple over the top, but I still want some of that blue to fade through. Now the belt is painted, it makes the purpley blue pop. Remember I said about this white? Well, it had been a few days at this point, and I still couldn't handle it without putting fingerprints on it, so I don't recommend using Rust-Oleum on Sculpey. Nothing against Rust-Oleum, it's great paint, and I love the finish of this matte white, and that's why I wanted to use it. But if you need to handle it in a short period of time, you will put prints on it. Now get ready for a montage that would make Bill making stuff gag. Yep. Nah, even I just puked in my mouth a little at that. But I applaud my confidence to leave that in. Just gluing them together now. Rust-Oleum works great on metal, by the way. Use it on your arms and legs. No fingerprints. But what did I just say? Do not touch the head. Fingerprints are all over it now. That's it, the whole thing is ruined. Days and days of work have been a waste of time. Well, might as well go ahead and make that bomb now then. Alrighty, so this is one of those moonlights that you touch to light up. Only it doesn't light up anymore now that I have kids and can't have anything nice. So let's take this down to the workshop to chop the bottom off to give it a nice even base to sit on. Better rub off that moon landing. Can't have an American flag sticking out, can we? Now I'm just applying a skin of plaster of Paris and some Mod Podge to fill up any craters and make a nice even surface. Smoothing out with those lovers' hands and getting it wet before rubbing it vigorously with some fine grit paper to finish her off. It off. Yeah, definitely it. It gets so lonely doing these projects. Let's move on. I'm busting out the starret cutters to cut out the top piece that the fuse comes out of. You can see I've concaved the bottom so it will sit nicely on top, and I bent a piece of 1/4 inch metal rod to the shape of the fuse, and it will act as a nice sturdy armature for the whole piece. Now I'm wrapping it with Sculpey to give it that rope-like look, and using a firm bristle brush I'm lightly brushing the surface all over to give it that rope-like fine fibre texture. And there you go, just like my ex-girlfriend's, it looks pretty ropey. And now on to putting a layer of Sculpey around the top of the bomb so I can shape it more to the cartoony look I'm trying to achieve. And that's pretty much all there is to that. We're getting ready to move on to the next stage. Here I'm putting a stress ball to good use and using other junk to form the general shape of the explosion, as you will see in a much better montage. Yep, I built that up too much too. Sorry, Bill. So this is why I used the stress ball for the centre, so I could stab it with the armature wire to slot on all the other junk, glue them together and get the explosive shape, because I had an idea that could make or break this build. And here it is, gaps and cracks expanding foam. Now I knew from using this stuff in the past that it would give the perfect explosion texture. You know, the rolling clouds type thing. The unknown was how much it was going to expand. This particular one I knew didn't expand too much, as I was disappointed when I used it on a repair before, but that made me think it could be perfect for this. And it was. I did have to carve out a small amount so you could see more of the fuse, but that was it. Quick, easy explosion effect and cheap. This can cost less than $5 and you can use it a few times. Now it's just a case of laying down the right colours in the right order. I started off covering the whole thing in a bright yellow and picked out the higher points with orange and then the highest points with a red for a simple blast effect. Now an explosion wouldn't be an explosion without some shrapnel flying around. So I'm making some bricks, as it is brick walls that you blow up in the game. I'm basing these ones off of some old London stock bricks and some engineering bricks too, that I baked first and drilled 3 holes in after, as you'll see in a moment. Sandpaper is perfect to give it the brick texture. And this pretty much brings us near the end of the video, so let's finish painting these bricks up and start putting it all together and throw up some glamour shots. Throw together. Just watch.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
As usual, I have an afterthought, so I made a base. It was fine without it until my cat Einhorn walked past and made me nervous, so I slapped up a quick level themed base off camera. Now cue the dramatic music. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. It feels so good to create something that has many different meanings and connections to my past that I can hold and instantly look back on and smile. If you can relate to any part of this build, then drop me a comment and share. I hope you got some value out of this video, and if you got this far, you're a trooper and thank you for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this, and until next time, take care.